As we've grieved through the week, today, friends and family take the final step in laying to rest fallen New Bern police officer Alexander Thalmann.
Anytime one of us is killed in the line of duty, it affects all of us.
This last week, folks from different areas of the East and the country have come together through memorials and vigils to remind us of the good that he did. Today, we honor Officer Alexander Thalmann. News Channel 12 this morning starts right now. We wish you a good morning. I'm Anna Bolshevitz.
And I'm meteorologist Les Still.
And today we continue our coverage of fallen New Bern police officer Alexander Thalmann. In the day ahead, yet another step in this grieving process. Today is the fallen officer's funeral.
Yeah, on Thursday, family and friends were welcome to pay respect to the late officer at his visitation. And within hours, an entire community will come together to give their final goodbyes. News Channel 12 Juliana Valencia joins us with those procession details.
Police officers stood watch outside as one of their own laid inside this funeral home. Fallen New Bern officer Alexander Thalmann. This picture is in memory of him during his time in the Marine Corps Reserve. I spoke to Officer Thalmann's mother at the visitations Thursday. She says usually she's a woman of many words, but in this situation, she said enough after speaking at her son's vigil Wednesday night. While people paid their respects at the visitation, 20 miles away, troopers were preparing horses for the next step in the goodbyes to Thalmann.
It's very moving because, I mean, he's a brother in blue.
Gary McClelland is the Caisson team leader for the North Carolina Highway Patrol's Caisson unit. He says it's the only state highway patrol run Caisson unit in the nation.
It's a lot of work that goes onto it, but to be able for the family and the department to want to use the Caisson unit is very honorable.
A Caisson is a wagon used to carry cannons or the injured during the Civil War.
And they started using it for funerals, and that's what we do with it. You know, so we put the casket on and go to a different destination.
These horses will pull Thalmann's casket to his funeral. 4 horses pulling the casket, and a riderless horse being led behind it.
I think it's amazing. It's quite a setup for them to bring all of this in, and these guys are from all over the United States and all over North Carolina.
Penny Taylor is offering up her stables to this traveling Caisson unit. These horses traveled almost 300 miles to get to here. Some of these troopers have traveled even farther, all to come together to honor Thalmann's life. These Highway Patrol troopers volunteer to do these ceremonies. The Caisson unit is not state-funded and runs off of donations. Reporting in the studio, Juliana Valencia for News Channel 12 this morning.
It has definitely been a week full of emotions, events, and solemn remembrances here in the East.
Yeah, News Channel 12's Jamie McCutcheon is taking a look back at this week and how it's unfolded since the 22-year-old officer, Alexander Thalmann, was shot last Friday.
It started last Friday night at the Craven Terrace housing development in New Bern when 22-year-old New Bern police officer Alexander Thalmann tried to stop a suspect for suspicious activity. Police say that suspect, 35-year-old Brian Stallings, ran. Officer Thalmann called for backup, then together, he and 23-year-old officer Justin Wester chased Stallings. Police say around 11:45 p.m., Stallings shot at the officers, hitting Wester in the leg and Thalmann in the face.
The officers returned fire, killing the suspect.
Overnight, a community started pulling together for the officers down. Officer Justin Wester was released from Vida Medical Center in Greenville. But on Monday afternoon, we learned the same would not be for Officer Alexander Thalmann.
It is with deepest sympathy that I announce that New Bern police officer Alexander Thalmann passed away just after 1 p.m. today.
A memorial was put together Monday night and quickly grew in front of the New Bern Police Department, loving tributes to a lost officer. Tuesday afternoon, a brotherhood of law enforcement escorted Officer Thalmann's body back to the city he had served as a police officer for 7 months. A city full of people that, in that short time, had come to respect him.
The true heroes are people like Officer Thalmann, who gave his life serving our community and protecting us.
Officer Thalmann was honored Wednesday at a wreath presentation. Police Chief Toussaint Summers received a wreath from City of New Bern leaders, including Mayor Dana Outlaw.
Police Officer Alexander Thalmann was shot and killed in the line of duty. I speak for the city and the entire community. I'm sure in expressing our condolences to the Thalmann family and to the New Bern Police Department on the loss of one of their comrades.
As the sun began to set Thursday night, emotions began to swell. At a vigil in Thalmann's hometown of Washington, his mother talked publicly about her son for the first time since his death.
I have never wondered why he was hurt and killed, because it was part of the job. And I'm so happy that he was doing something that he loved doing.
With that came the beginning of the goodbyes. On Thursday, family, friends, and a family of law enforcement officers gathered for a visitation at Hillside Funeral Home in Washington. An officer, a protector, a son, and a brother. A final goodbye will come Friday afternoon. Officer Alexander Thalmann's funeral will be in New Bern, with his burial to follow 40 miles north in the place where he grew up. Jamie McCutcheon, News Channel 12.
That funeral will take place today at Temple Baptist Church, again in New Bern at 2 p.m. And as you just heard Jamie mention, burial will take place at Oakdale Cemetery. And again, that's in Washington. So we will have live continuing coverage of Officer Thalmann's funeral this afternoon. In fact, News Channel 12 will be live this afternoon for both the procession and the service. Our very own Valentina Wilson will be with you this afternoon, plus Brian North will be live in New Bern. Coverage starts right here at 1:45 p.m. today. And the funeral for the man killed Friday night was held Thursday. Family and friends gathered at First Missionary Baptist Church on Cypress Street in New Bern Thursday for the funeral of Brian Stallings. Now, Stallings is being blamed for killing Officer Thalmann. Stallings was then shot and killed by police. He was 35 years old. And it has been a warm and sunny week. Of course, this morning we want to find out what our morning commute brings us. Storm Track 12 meteorologist Les Dill has our Friday forecast. Good morning, Les.
And a good morning. Nice way to end the work week here for us. We're going to see another windy and warm day. We are tracking some high-level clouds coming in from the west. We call these debris clouds. Showers and storms form off to our west, and these clouds kind of get caught in the jet stream here. Expect to see a lot of sunshine today, and I think we're going to flirt with some record highs in a couple spots. Warm out the door this morning. Kinston checking in at 59 degrees with that southwesterly wind. And notice the dew points. They've also come up a little bit here. And as a result, it's going to be a little bit more humid today than what we saw yesterday. Inland spots, mid to upper 80s with, again, some of those high mid-level clouds thickening up from time to time as we head through late this afternoon as those thunderstorms get going off to our west. The front comes through tonight, but with very little fanfare for us. Cooler temperatures, though, are in store for the second half of the weekend. I've got those details in a few minutes.
All right, Les, new this morning here on News Channel 12. A shooting in Aden leaves one man in the hospital. Aden police say that he was shot on Pitt Street around 10 p.m. just last night. We're working to find out how many times he was shot and where. The Pitt County Sheriff's Office and the Highway Patrol are both helping with this investigation. Anyone with information is being asked to call Aden Police or Pitt County Crime Stoppers. So stay with News Channel 12 for the very latest. Highway Patrol troopers are looking for a driver in a suspected hit-and-run crash. It happened just before 7:30 Thursday night at the Highway 17, Highway 55 split in Craven County. Troopers say it appears the driver of a van hit a motorcycle. The motorcycle driver was airlifted to Vided Medical Center in Greenville, but there is no word on the extent of injuries. Now, according to witnesses, it was a dark-colored van, possibly a Chevy Astro in this case. In another one of our top developing stories, we know more about the Fort Hood shooter this morning from family, colleagues, and social media. But friends, family, and military officials are desperately trying to figure out why 34-year-old Ivan Lopez went on this shooting rampage that killed 3 fellow soldiers and wounded 16 others before taking his own life. ABC's Marcy Gonzalez is at Fort Hood with the very latest this morning.
So I left a message on his son, call me so I know if you're okay or not. Well, never got no call from him. I thought, oh God, please don't let it be.
This morning, stories surfacing of the soldiers who lost their lives, shot to death by a fellow soldier here at Fort Hood.
Very terrible that they had to shoot my son. He was a good person.
Reflecting on the victims, including Sergeant Timothy Owens, and honoring the heroism of Sergeant Keisha Fountain, whose family, now by her side at the hospital, says she was shot in the stomach when she tried to talk to the gunman, and of others who risked their lives to save others.
There's at least one chaplain that I'm aware of that shielded and saved other soldiers, broke some windows, got them to safety.
Still today, so many asking why. Army officials saying the accused gunman Ivan Lopez was being treated for mental health issues and may have been in an argument leading up to the shooting. A family spokesperson saying he'd been angry that he was only given 2 days leave to attend his mother's funeral in November. And still there is the question, how, following the 2009 massacre here at Fort Hood, could this happen again?
You'd think that they'd have more security and be able to be more ready for something like that to happen. And I just don't understand.
Defense Secretary Chuck Hagel admits there are clearly gaps in the system and vows to put reforms in place to keep this from happening again. Marcy Gonzalez, ABC News, Fort Hood.
And we will continue to follow this story as more facts come in from ABC News. In the meantime, it is 6:11. We need to get you out the door this morning. Storm Track 12 meteorologist Les Dill has our morning commute. Les, good Friday.
And a good morning, relatively mild out at the bus stop for this morning. We're starting off with temps upper 50s and low 60s under mainly clear skies. Just a few high clouds out there, and we'll see those high clouds as we go through the day today. Kind of a transition for this weekend, though, as far as temperatures and weather is concerned. I've got those details in 2 minutes here on News Channel 12 this morning.